Tonight, we are once again asking what is in the water. Some Tulsans are concerned about water quality in the Arkansas River and the Zinc Lake area.
Now, this comes as more water sports, including rowing, are happening on the river. Tulsa's investigative reporter Jana Clark asked a certified rowing referee if it's safe to have rowing on the river.
It's her FOX23 investigation.
I don't understand. I just don't understand.
Anne-Marie Beer knows the ins and outs of regattas. She works as a referee at rowing events on rivers all over the country, including this regatta last year in Oklahoma City. When the city of Tulsa proposed its plan to spend almost $50 million of your tax dollars on the Zinc Lake project, the city's website showed the project and said you could expect things like canoes, watercraft, and rowing. When Anne-Marie heard talk of holding rowing events on the Arkansas River, she thought, no way.
You immediately knew there would be a safety concern.
Absolutely.
You don't think, oh, good, because I know you love rowing.
I did not have a positive reaction because safety is our #1 concern.
Anne-Marie says the river just isn't deep enough and needs to be dredged.
There's safety concerns, big safety concerns, because of the things that are currently in the water. They haven't dredged in years and years and years. And back in the day, they used to dredge and they would clean out all of the debris, and it was a regular practice. Well, they haven't done that in forever.
I checked with the Corps of Engineers to find out the last time they dredged. They sent me this document. It's a 2013 permit to excavate sand in Zinc Lake. They used some of that sand to rebuild beaches and to construct an interior island for an endangered bird known as the least tern. They also told me that right now the Corps doesn't have any future plans to dredge in the city limits. I also checked with the city of Tulsa. They don't have any record of dredging the river, nor any plans to do so. Anne-Marie says she knows there's a lot of large debris on the bottom of the Arkansas River because she's seen it. Before Zinc Lake was full of water, she snapped these photos of things on the river bottom, like this concrete and this pipe. Here's video of a car submerged in the river bottom. Anne-Marie told me she asked then Mayor G.T. Bynum about it in a Brookside Neighborhood Association meeting last year. This is a photo from that meeting.
I raised my hand and asked him about dredging.
In this recording, you can hear Anne-Marie ask about it.
For many years, there has not been a stable amount of water, and there's pockets of water, so the water level is not constant, and there's a lot of dangerous debris. So I'm wondering, is that ever going to be dredged?
Yes, I mean, I think that is also one of the things that we're talking about in along with water quality testing and the dam management plan that we're working on right now. You're right, though. I was in the raft race a couple of years ago, and you don't appreciate it until you're going down there and you see the stuff, rebar sticking out of the base of the river and stuff.
I checked with the Corps of Engineers to find out how deep the Arkansas River is right now in the city of Tulsa. They didn't answer my question, but this 2013 permit said after the excavation, the depth would fluctuate from a maximum depth of 9 feet near the Zinc Lake Dam to 1.75 feet near the 21st Street Bridge.
There's not a consistency with the ground under the water.
I checked the U.S. rowing website, and although there are no set water depth requirements to hold a rowing event, they recommend, where possible, its depth at the shallowest point should be 3 meters, where the depth varies along the course. That's almost 9 feet.
I'm guessing the depth would need to be consistent across the floor.
And it needs to be cleared of all debris, because if a crew rolls over, they have to release themselves from straps, shoe straps, and when they do that, they're going to be pushed out of the boat. They're going to push themselves out of the boat while they're underwater, and they're going to go down and up. And if they go down and hit their head on one of these slabs of concrete or get caught up in a tree or a pipe, that's it.
Besides the water depth, Anne-Marie also has concerns about what's in the water.
Absolutely. Whether it's rowing, whether it's canoeing, whether it's kayaking, the rule of thumb is if it's brown, don't get in it.
She took this photo of what she said looked and smelled like fecal matter.
I don't need to see that. I've done my share of changing diapers. I don't need to see that.
Right.
Nobody needs to see that. It's embarrassing.
The city started testing for bacteria and some chemicals at the beginning of this year. Workers sample twice a week and post the results on this public dashboard. But about a year before the city started testing, Anne Marie was so concerned about the lack of testing, she tested the river herself.
You tested it?
Yes, and paid for it with my own money.
Why did you test on your own?
Because I like having facts.
She took samples as the river flowed into Tulsa and as it left. She got these results back from the Tulsa Health Department.
The E. coli alone was 6 times the allowable level for a water recreational space. And so just on that alone, that's a very big concern.
Anne Marie did not test for chemicals, but she's worried about those contaminants too.
Pick a chemical out of the periodic chart.
She worries because of this, HF Sinclair Refinery. It's right on the riverbank across from Zinc Lake. I've told you what the Department of Environmental Quality told me. Refinery waste does seep into the river. Over the past few years, the refinery worked with DEQ to put in 2 containment caps like this one to try to keep the pollutants from getting into the river.
Do you feel like the refinery has been polluting the river?
Absolutely. The groundwater contamination, the fact that they're putting up containment walls to keep stuff in, and we don't know what guarantees that these containment walls will offer to us.
The refinery says it's working closely with DEQ. DEQ told me there will have to be a large cleanup of this massive plume. It's an area the DEQ calls historical contamination under the refinery.
We're working on it. We're working really hard.
HF Sinclair held a public meeting last year. Someone at the meeting gave me this cell phone video. Those speaking for the refinery tried to reassure people.
We are concerned. We're working with DEQ. It's a process. It's a 100-year-old refinery. We're working through the steps. So it takes some time.
It's puzzling. It's sad to me. And we're accepting it. And we shouldn't have to accept it. We should question it and not be afraid to question it because it's people's lives.
Anne Marie says she took photos of sheens on the river, and she showed me this video from October. She said it looked and smelled like a leak from the refinery.
It's shameful what is in the river now. It's not something that we can be proud of in Tulsa. It's embarrassing. It really is.
She thinks the city should invest in working to clean up the river.
Make it right. We pay and pay and pay. Fix this, we need to fix that, let's fix this. What about the Arkansas River? This is our greatest asset. It's 7 miles. It is our greatest asset, and it's being abused and neglected.
Anne Marie would love for the Arkansas River to be what she considers regatta ready.
A clean river, a deep river where the underground surface is level all the way across. I think that would be a great start.
On the Arkansas River, covering news that matters, Jana Clark, Fox 23 News.
Jana reached out to the Oklahoma Department of Environmental Quality to find out if there have been any leaks from the refinery into the river this year. They say they're looking into it. We'll let you know when we hear back.
Do you have a tip or issue that you think Jana Clark should investigate? Let us know. Email FOX23 Investigates at fox23.com or call 918-388-5354 or search Fox 23 Jana Clark on Facebook.